Hey Freedom Family, I'm Mark, and I'm so glad you're here at _Freedom for Life _, where we're going to have some honest conversations, some vulnerable conversations, some conversations about things that hurt, some challenges and struggles we walk through, but also some victories and some healings and amazing things and everything in between. This week was such an interesting week because I had a conversation with somebody I care very deeply about who had some very bad health news. And the honest truth is I don't really know how to navigate or go through this very well. But what I do know is that I have an honest journey that I'm walking through, and it's one that I want to share with you this week. So let's get started, shall we? So I was having the normal week, just like any other week. I'm sure you've had them, right? These just regular weeks. It's just another one of many. And had a conversation with somebody that I talk to every week that I'm absolutely close to. I love and they love me. And in the midst of the conversation, they let me know that they had had a multitude of tests this past couple of weeks. I didn't know about any of them, but they told me they had had all of these tests, and the result of which was the doctor coming back to them and telling them that they had cancer, really that they had 2 masses on their right lung. And in this conversation, they let me know that they had made a decision in the course of the conversation about the analysis and the treatment and their, I'll just say it, they chose to not have any of them. I know them, and I'm in a personal, deep relationship with them. And so I heard their words and the things that they said and the reasons behind it. And the long and the short of it was they weren't going to get the biopsy to figure out what treatment they could have. They weren't going to get the treatment to try and recover. They're choosing to leave their life in God's hands. And so I'm faced with an ordinary week that turns into a really bad week really fast. And then I get off the phone and I just sat there kind of numb. It's so weird, isn't it? Because it's not happening to me, but it is. And I supported them, and I still do, and I understood why they chose the path that they've chose, and I absolutely support them in it. But in this place, you're sitting there and you're kind of numb. And so from that conversation forward, my world became a little bit more gray, a little bit more of a burden, a little bit more of confusion, because to be totally honest, I don't know how to process it or walk through it, because I haven't walked through the fullness of the analysis, the biopsy, and then the treatment. It's like having a bomb in the room that you don't know when or if it's going to go off. And so in the middle of that, trying to process emotions, right, and trying to walk through your freedom journey of knowing that, what I think matters and who I think I'm going to become, and I can change my emotions by focusing on things that are positive and empowering, and then life happens, and it becomes a bit of a struggle, to be honest. Not because there's devastating news or there's good news or anywhere in between, but because there's this big fat unknown in the middle of my life right now, and in the middle of theirs. And so in trying to figure out how to support them, I'm trying to figure out how to walk through it myself, how to deal with emotions like anger, because it's not okay that they're having to walk through this. And I'm so sad for them and for me and for all of us who love them. So in that place, I'm trying to walk out this freedom journey of figuring out how to support somebody in what could be the last moments, days, months of their life, and trying to process it myself so that I'm not just authentic and not just vulnerable, but I'm living from that place of the freedom that I'm walking in. So for me, it's not going to be a burden that destroys me, but it's a burden that I'm walking through. I don't have a lot of answers in how to do that, let alone if it was me that had to deal with that physical circumstance. But there's a couple of things I do know, and the first one is this, that it's okay where I'm at right now. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to be sitting there and just be crushed by the moment. It's okay to be angry because this shouldn't be happening and we shouldn't be walking through this. This isn't what this year was supposed to look like for them or for our relationship. But it's okay to be where I'm at. And in that place of supporting somebody who's doing something that very literally could cost them their life sooner than you had hoped. In figuring out how to invest in the moments and not use them as an excuse and a reason to grieve right now, although I'm grieving deeply. Sitting in my shower 2 days ago just weeping. Because the potential outcome is something I just absolutely don't want to have happen in their life. But in that place, being able to support them and be a part of that and still invite them into living their life while I'm trying to navigate through mine as well. I don't know how to do it really well. I've not faced something like this before. But I do know that there's still moments of victory that we're going to have together, this person and myself. There's moments of great joy that we're going to have together. There's going to be treasured times that we're going to share together. And because I'm a Christian, I also know that the moment that they leave this earth, they'll be with their God. And that matters, but it doesn't change everything. It doesn't change the, not really fear, but sadness that just doesn't seem to be very far from me right now. It doesn't change the need to walk through it well so that I don't hurt and jab and stab people I care about because I'm trying to figure out how to process emotions I haven't had to before. It does mean that it's the circumstance we're walking through. And I'm resolved to that and resolved to be my best for them. And it's the journey we all walk in. What do you do when you've received the worst news ever for yourself or somebody you care about? You be honest with where you're at. You allow yourself to feel whatever emotions you have. But my hope for myself and for you, if you've ever walked through it or you're walking through it now, is that you continue to keep your eyes towards your God, who's, in my case, given me so much comfort that I absolutely need right now. But knowing that even in the challenging struggles and terrible circumstances of life, there's still good to be had. There's still joy to receive. There's still peace to be able to abide in, meaning allow to have happen to you. And there's still love to share. I'm not walking through it perfectly. I'm not really walking through it very well sometimes. But I'm going to walk through it. And I'm going to walk through it with them as long as they're here. Sometimes that's really all you can do. And that's good enough. It's actually perfectly well, if that's all you do. I'm Mark, and I'm glad you're here at _Freedom for Life _, where we have honest conversations, sometimes vulnerable, sometimes painful, sometimes glorious, but always honest. If you know somebody who's walked through grief or is walking through a challenging circumstance, would you share this with them? Maybe it'll give them some hope. If you want to know how to grab a hold of an ability to navigate things, not perfectly, but well, in a way that brings health and wellness into your life, we have a course. It's called Life Mastery. It's a step-by-step method to help you to walk through the challenging times and rough emotions in a way that doesn't damage you, but grows you, that brings health and wellness so you can be the person you're created to be and have the life you're created for as long as that life is meant to be lived. You can see the link down below in the description and sign up for the course today and be a part of that journey for yourself as well. Be in Life Mastery if you want to know how to get from hurt to healed in a way that brings blessing to you and others. And at the end of the day, if you do nothing else, dominate your day.